All right. We are alive. And I'm going to wait just 1 minute and let others get in here because we have so much to get to, so much to cover after not having a steam room last week. So a lot to get to today, but just give a minute for others to walk in. We don't have any bets really to look at right now, except the tennis. But I want to wait a minute because I want to explain what's going on with the tennis. A lot of good stuff. All right. Good morning. Good morning to everyone, baby. Good morning. Big weekend, especially for us with our future bets on the World Cup. What a position we're in. God bless America. All right. We're going to wait just, like I said, 30 more seconds. Come on in. It's the water's warm. The water's warm. No reason to be, don't be shy. You could keep your t-shirt on. Don't worry about it. Nobody's watching. Come on in. The water is warm. Uh-oh. Just making sure you guys, I'm still on. I got a lot of stuff running in the background with TradingView and Claude and all that. And sometimes we're freezing. But all right. Let's just dive right in. Here we go. If they're late, they are late. So, real quickly, the tennis. That's all we have pending right now. I released no tennis premiums today. I originate all the tennis now. Over the last 7 days, it's been all my own tennis. Okay? The quant that I hired last year that did my NFL, my college football, slowly integrated him into all the other markets, has been doing a lot of work on tennis. And I said, I'm going to use that information and originate my own shit. Started last week with those smaller tournaments. So far, so good. Okay? Here's what we've done. Bottom line. Now, premiums, I only released 9 plays. Again, we're still learning this system right now. All right. 9 plays through to subscribers. All right. They just went 6 and 3. We picked up 12 units of profit there, almost 40% ROI. But here's what's more important. Yesterday's Steam sheet, I added 3 tennis moves that I couldn't release because they were starting within 15 minutes. And there's a cutoff at Wager Talk of when I could release plays. So I had that window and was unable to release for premium. But I was able to send them on the Steam sheet and note that these are premiums. I just don't have the time to release. Anyway, those went 3-0. All right. So 6 and 3, add 3-0 to that. That's 9 and 3. I also gave out a live bet yesterday that won. That's 10 and 3. I gave out 2 live bets this morning. Rublev already won. That's 11 and 3. And now we have the second one pending. And not only did I bet her what I released at minus 250, whatever that was, but I just laid minus 110 as well. She was minus 110 or minus 120 5 minutes ago. So I bet her again. All right. We'll see what happens regardless. So it'll be a very profitable week in tennis. Why am I bringing that up? Because moving forward, you're going to start receiving premiums on tennis. A lot of those will come the night before because a lot of these tournaments are overseas and they start like 2 in the morning, 3 in the morning, 4 in the morning, 5, 6 a.m. So I'm sleeping when most of those are starting. So don't be surprised if you get some late evening tennis. All right. We're going to be moving all the tennis stuff. I'm originating all of it. So keep your eye on line moves because I'm betting it off screen and I'm not betting it for, 6 figures. It's just mine, just my own stuff. So it's not even going to reflect on the betting line yet. So you guys will have no problems getting the exact same number. Now, eventually, when we continue to beat these outs and I need to get more money down, we'll reach on screen and the market will start reflecting it. But until then, we're going to be able to do some damage in tennis. Do not overlook it. Okay? I know all the attention's on NFL and college football and all that, but we'll do just fine there. But we're going to be firing some of our own tennis. Now, with that said, let's get to everything we need to cover. First and foremost, last 7 days, we are up overall. So we had a winning 7 days. Again, nothing to brag about, nothing to celebrate, but we picked up 8 units of profit. All right. Now, that's with losing the 5% on soccer, where we went under 2.5, and the game was 0-0 at the 50-minute mark, 1-0 at the 70-minute mark, and it ended up going over with Argentina advancing 2-1. So we got unlucky and lost that 5%, and also lost the Krylov 5%. Again, I'm not bragging about losing 2 5%, but over the last 7 days, we've still profited 8 units while losing those 2 big bets that we got a ton of closing line value on. That Argentina game went off at 2. We got under 2.5. The Krylov, we got plus 135. He closed it close to even money. So we got a ton of closing line value, and I did a video on closing line value for Wager Talk yesterday. That'll be out soon, explaining why that matters. So we've had a profitable 7 days, but we have work to make up for 2026. Here's the beautiful part. We have the rest of July. We have all of August, September, October, November, and December. And if you remember, last year, finished #1 in profit in college football, finished #1 in profit in NFL and college football combined. Okay? And that was the first year I used the power ratings. But more importantly, we did all that without defying probability. Now, if I came on and I was bragging that I hit 70% last year in the NFL, so here's a coupon code for this year's NFL, you need to be cautious. Why? Because I outperformed the betting market last year, big time. I'm not supposed to win 70% in the NFL. So if you think I'm going to do that again this year, you've lost your damn mind. There's nobody walking amongst us that's going to hit 70% in back-to-back years in the NFL, laying 110 to win 100. It's not going to happen. So the beauty is we did all of that, finishing #1 in profit by hitting 55, 56%. It wasn't even a great year. We didn't get lucky. We didn't have this phenomenal year. We didn't hit any big futures. We grinded our way to #1 in profit in NFL and college football. And that's why we're going to be able to repeat that. In fact, if we get a little bit lucky this year, with the damage we're going to do in NFL and college football, forget about it. Again, I already have the power ratings are up, NFL and college football. Every NFL team, every college football team. My goal is after this NFL and college football season to move my quant to Las Vegas. Okay? He has another job, but he's starting to see that this job is not just more profitable, but gives him more freedom to be with his family, to spend more time at home, to do other things that he likes, and make more money than his normal job. Now, the beauty is he doesn't make any picks, no predictions, no nothing. He has zero idea what I'm betting, and he has zero clue whether I've won or lost each week. His only job is to send me data. That's it. Send me implied win probabilities and let me handle the rest. And again, it worked really well last year. It's working really well. Soon, I'm hoping to get him here. And if I could get him here to Las Vegas, forget about it then. Then we're going to attack every fucking market and originate a ton of our own shit. So Let's start off first with money management, because without proper risk management, nothing else matters. All right. The reason I've been able to turn a profit in 9 of the last 11 years documented is because I managed my risk correctly. And more importantly than turning a profit for subscribers is that I actually made money doing it in the real world. And I know the internet makes us think that everyone's doing that, but here's what I can promise you. And it's not my opinion, it's fact. Very few bettors win long term. Very few bettors are actually profitable. And more importantly, even those that can win long term aren't all profitable, because turning a profit is a lot harder than it seems, even with winning information, even with a proven plus EV system. It's why I can teach 10 guys how to count cards and become a threat to the casino. But if I'm lucky, maybe 2 of them will actually be able to do it, even though all 10 of them will have the knowledge, the bankroll, everything they need to beat the house, except that experience, which builds your patience, your understanding of variance, and whether you could handle variance, because that's what this whole thing is all about. Sports betting comes down to how you handle variance. That will determine whether you're built to be a trader or not. And there's nothing wrong with not being built to trade. There's few people that can do it because the swings are horrific for most normal people. But if you can handle it, the opportunities are endless. Like, you create and control how much money you want to make by how many hours you put in, how many markets you want to attack, how many outs you have, how many bonuses you could take advantage of, how many reduced VIG you can talk books into giving you. Like, you control your destiny once you learn how to bet. Again, there are few people that can pick winners on their own, okay? There are few people that have access to winning information. Both of those have the ability to be profitable betting sports, but that's only the first layer. Having that, being able to pick more winners than losers, meaning spotting market inefficiencies, or having access to information that does that, like I do, providing accounts for those that do that. Now, that's not enough. And I tell my story a lot, that I had access to the best information at a time where people didn't even have computers. That's how far ahead we were from the market. Like, I could have went outside, smoked a cigarette before lines moved, and then went back in and bet. And I managed not to make any money with that information because I didn't know how to use it. And by use it, I mean, how did I manage the risk? I was working with the highest risk of ruin imaginable. And that's what most of us are doing. That's the problem. Again, we're going to get to all the sports. We're going to get to all the free information and the actionable information. But none of it's going to matter if you don't walk away knowing this and actually being able to practice it. And that's risk of ruin. Once you have the ability to win or winning information, you get to determine what your risk of ruin is. And you do that by the amount of units you have. So if I have 1,000 units, so that means if I'm betting $10 a unit, I need $10,000. That puts me at a 1% risk of ruin. So if I'm betting $10 a unit and I have an edge, I will double my money 99 out of 100 times. But if I change that math and now I'm only working with, say, 400 units, where if I'm betting $10 a unit, I have $4 grand now, not 10 grand. What is my risk of ruin now? Is it 99 out of 100 I'm going to make money? No. Now you're at 80-20. Now you're going to double your bank 8 out of 10 times, but you're just going to lose it 2 out of 10. That's correct. With winning information, with the ability to beat the market, you're winning more games than you lose. You're still going to lose your bankroll 2 out of 10 times if you only are working with 400 units. So imagine when you're working with, say, 250, 200, 250 units. Now you're close to 50-50, whether you're going to double your bankroll or losing your bankroll. And this is with winning information. This isn't just any guy off the street. This is if you take a winning sports bettor and you give him 250 units only, he's a 50-50 proposition, whether he's going to double his bankroll or lose it all. That's not my opinion. That's the fucking math. And that's why 99.5 out of every 100 sports betting accounts that have ever been open have negative lifetime earnings. That's a fact. Even though many of those people had winning information, many of those people had the ability to pick more winners than losers. But what did they do? They overbet their edge. And if you do that, you're a mathematical certainty to go broke. I don't give a shit how good you are at this. So think about that. 250 units and you're still a 50-50 proposition. So if I'm betting $10 a unit, that means I have to have $2,500. How many bettors out there with $2,500 are only betting $10 a game? I'll wait. Yeah, 0, right? 0. Now, maybe 0.5%. Maybe 0.5%, right? That's why it's only 0.5% that actually turn a profit. Because the other 99.5 are overbetting their edge. And if you do that, I can't help you. And more importantly, if you do that, you've already gone broke with my information in 2026. Let's just keep it real. Like most betting syndicates, we've had a losing baseball season. Okay? Even my quant with his info, which I'm glad I saw it like that because it matches up. Everybody's that wins is more or less reading things the same way. And hopefully the second half is an improvement. But if you mismanage your risk during a cold streak, you're broke. I can't help you. So what do you do at that point? Look for the next hot guy. Hope that someone has a 5%, a game of the year. That's the problem we get ourselves into. Listen, I'm not trying to sell anyone. The thing I'm trying to explain to you is that if you're truly doing this and putting your hard-earned money up to try to use this as an investment vehicle, then you need to understand going in, if you don't bet size correctly, all the rest isn't going to matter. And by bet sizing correctly, that means very small in relation to your bankroll. The way we do it is we bet a quarter of the rating. It's simple. We rate it, Wager Talk, 1%, 2%, 3%, 4%, 5%. 5%'s the strongest play, 1%'s the weakest play. Now, I wouldn't urge anyone to start betting 4%, 5% of their bankroll on a play. Why? Because they're going to go broke. It doesn't matter. It's just a matter of time. Why? Because they're overbetting their edge. So what do we do to counteract that? Because in the hypothetical world, we should be betting 5% if we have a 5% edge. In fact, there's plays that we know we have a 10% edge before the fight. I gave out that one fighter at 5% play, okay, at minus 135. He closed at minus 175. That's a 10%, greater than a 10% edge before the fight starts. So I should bet 10% of my bankroll, right? That's Kelly criteria. That's the perfect bet. That's the most efficient bet. That's the correct bet size. But in the real world, not the hypothetical world, where there's randomness in small sample sizes, betting that way is going to break me. Because even though I have a 10% edge, that doesn't mean I'm going to cash that ticket. Good bets lose all the time. Bad bets win a lot. Roulette's a bad bet, right? There's 38, 39 numbers on a roulette wheel. They pay you 35 to 1. I live across the street from a casino. Right now, someone just hit a number on roulette. They got paid 35 to 1. Did they place a good bet? Fuck no. It was a terrible bet. Now, if they got 38, 39% to 1 on their money, they placed a fair bet, a decent bet. If they got 41 to 1, 42 to 1, 43 to 1 on their money, then they placed a winning bet, win or lose. They got the best of it. You see, good bets do lose, which is why in the real world, we can't bet size our edge. So we quarter it, like Quarter Kelly, what Stanford Wong taught us with card counting. And why did he teach us it with card counting? Because with card counting, I could place 200 bets an hour with a fast dealer, 150 at minimum. How long does it take you to place 200 bets in sports? Even if you're betting 10 games a day, it's going to take you 3 weeks compared to 1 hour. So Stanford saw that in 1 hour, placing 200 bets, there's going to be a lot of variance. And if I bet exactly like I should, I'm going to go broke over and over and over again. So what did he do? He said, I'm going to bet a quarter or a half of the perfect, efficient number. And that's going to allow me to survive the cold streaks and the random short term. Because remember, in the short term, a lot of negative shit will happen. It's a July of 2026. I have money to make up. If the year ended right now, I'd be down money for the year. It would be a losing year. I would have to say that I've now won 9 of the last 12, not 10 of the last 12, which the goal is, okay? But fortunately, it doesn't end tomorrow. I still have close to 6 months, 5+ months. And that's why I love subscribers, the partners, the guys that are with you for the year, that are with you long term. Those are who I'm working for. And those are who I'm confident will be rewarded for their patience and proper risk management. Because as of today, July 18th, if you look at the stock market, you will find companies like Oracle, IBM, Chipotle, things we use every day, Capital One, Uber, all these companies are down 10, 20, 30, 40% for the year. For the year, yes. Those big names. Just look at how many Fortune 500 companies are down money in 2026. And yet, these are the most profitable companies on the planet, and they're going to continue to make money. But they don't go up in a straight line. If you pull up any stock for the most successful company, when you zoom out, you'll notice that the trajectory is upwards. But when you zoom in, you'll see the ride went like this. It doesn't go up like that. And that's that's what makes investing and trading in markets so difficult. That even when you're a winner, even when you're a profitable, elite company, you're going to have to deal with being down at times over significant periods, because you're not doing this for 1 day, 1 week, 1 month. You're talking about I have a 20-year career, 30-year career. This has been one long war. Just like Google, IBM, Apple. They're looking over the last decade, the next 20 years, what they're going to do. Anyway, getting back to risk management. We bet a quarter of the rating. So if it's a 4% rating, what's a quarter of 4%? 1%, right? So we're betting 1% of our bankroll. That's it. So on a 5% play, the biggest, strongest play, we're betting 1.25% of bankroll. That's correct. So if you have $10,000 and I have a 5% play, You shouldn't be risking more than 100 to win 125 on a favorite or flat betting 125 on a dog. And again, I will repeat, how many bettors out there with 10 grand in their bankroll when they have their strongest play are only going to bet 125 bucks on it? Not many, man. That's the fucking problem. That's why so many go broke. You control your risk of ruin. That's the takeaway from this entire steam room. That you, not me, not the sports book, not Wager Talk, not anyone, you get to determine your risk of ruin by how you manage your fucking risk. Manage it like a boss, and you'll make money like a boss. Treat it like a business, it'll pay like a business. Approach it like a market instead of a casino, and it'll reward you for doing so. Now, let's get into action because we got a lot to get to. Now, for my partners, like I told you, don't grade me until December 31st. Judge me on December 31st. Because no matter how hot I start the year or how cold I start the year is going to be irrelevant to me. My goal is to turn a profit over to 12 months. I have to have a time frame to judge, right? So we choose a year. It's a big enough sample size. And that means during the year, I know there's going to be ups and downs. People are going to quit. They're going to give up on it. Good. They're not built for this. Let them chase those game of the years. Let them find that hot capper that's going to defy probability. Let them find that source of information that's going to keep defying the laws of math. Good luck. Good luck. We're going to grind. Okay. Now, why do I say that? Because when you're looking to profit for the year, you're going to approach every day differently compared to trying to win today, sell today. That's not my goal. I'm not trying to do that. I'm trying to use the capital that I put aside for sports betting to have a return on that capital so that it's not a waste, so that I don't tell myself, fuck, I could have just put that in USDC and got 5.5%, letting it sit in an exchange. Why the hell did I put that money in the sports betting where I had to do shit and work every single day? Okay. So I do this for money. And the reason I bring that up is we're going to bet differently than if we were doing it just to win today. And here's what I mean. Futures matter. Tomorrow, we're either going to pick up 40 units if Argentina wins, or we're going to pick up 27 units if Spain wins. Okay? Now, mine is whatever we hedged here or there. Again, that was yesterday. That was last week. That's already in the accounting. That's already in the math. What matters is moving forward. So tomorrow, we're either going to pick up 27 units or 40 units. And we're getting rewarded for the work we did a few weeks ago. When my quant sent me, where did he send it? Where is it? He sent me my power ratings. And I put them out. I know Wager Talk put them out. And I gave you Spain number 1, Argentina number 2, France number 3, Portugal 4, Brazil 5, England 6. You get the point. All right, we got rewarded for that. Now, MLB, we have 2 futures pending. Tampa in the AL, sitting in first place with the best record, and Milwaukee in the NL, sitting in first place in their division, second best record in the NL. That stuff matters when you're partnering for the year. And in the next few weeks, you're going to start receiving our NFL futures, our college football futures. That's why this matters. Because those are going to matter later in the year when we get results on those. But don't overlook future bets. Because again, I'm thinking for the year. I'm not just thinking for today. My goal is to make money in 2026. And if our goals are aligned, I will not disappoint you. I will do everything in my fucking power to make sure we are in the best position to profit. And again, I can't control whether guarantee that's going to happen. But what I can tell you is 9 out of the last 11, it's worked out in my favor. Okay? So the reason there's no steam sheet today is because the steam room's wide open, and I'm going to share everything with you right here. Now, real quickly, before I get into actionable games, let me look if there's any questions relevant to get to. Water, right? Yeah. Jackpot's okay, man. He's napping over there. The truth is, I shouldn't have got a dog, bro. I shouldn't have got a dog. My lifestyle isn't built for a dog. Like I wanted a dog. I love dogs, but without like a wife, a girl, like to help, it's just, I feel bad for him. I don't have the lifestyle where I should have a dog. Like, you know, I mean, I spoil him because of it. And now I'm like, dude, I'm like that worst parent where I just give my kids shit because I feel like I'm a shitty parent. So I just buy him shit. That's how I feel with him. Like I'm a shitty parent. So I just buy him shit. Yeah, that's not good, man. But he's well. He's well. I've had to put antibiotic on his penis. Not fun. But otherwise he's doing good. And we butt heads because we're together all day, you know, and he's still a puppy. He drives me nuts, and I don't have a lot of patience, unfortunately, for him. But that's my boy, man. I love him to death. All bullshit aside, like I feel bad because my life isn't a lifestyle that's built for a dog. You know what I mean? I get up really, really, really early. I have to get up and trade. I don't, you know what I mean? Like I don't get up. I don't have time to like, and I squeeze it in, and that's why then I end up not being patient and yelling and being pissed because I got to take him for a walk, take him do this, get his food. You know what I mean? Like again, but I love him and he loves me. Like he adores me, and like the love that part of it, I wouldn't trade for anything. The fact he's not on the couch is because he peed a little bit the other day, and I lost it. Because he knows better. I have a set up for him where that doesn't have to happen. And so he's a little grounded from being on the couch. That's why he's sitting on my lap. You probably have a better handicap of Mbappe winning the Golden Boot than I do, my man. It's just not like a market I've followed or anything like that I would really have any opinion. Thank you, Plessis. Welcome to all, baby. Thank you. Oh, Dennis asked, what carries more weight, line value or how teams or players in individual events are playing? Line value is everything. It's everything. Because like how teams are playing or how a player's playing, again, the data, we could use the data, but our eye test, like we can't quantify that. Like, oh, this team's playing well. I mean, we could see it in the data if that's the case, but if the line isn't offering value, the data doesn't matter. So here's what I mean by that. Like on paper, I have Spain as better than Argentina. All right. But here's what my probabilities are for tomorrow's game. Let's just get right into it right away, because this is a great question. So we look at tomorrow's lines. Here's what we have for tomorrow's final. We have Spain in the three-way. We have Spain winning 45% of the time. We have Argentina winning 26% of the time. And we have a tie 29% of the time. As far as to advance or to win the game overall, we have Spain at 53.5% and Argentina 46.5%. All right. Now let's get back to the three-way line. Here's why this matters. Now, when we look at what the line is for tomorrow, we look at Spain. They're about plus 130, right? 125, 130. We'll say plus 130. At plus 130, my break even is 43%, 43.5%. Now, I told you, we said Spain's going to win 43% of the time. They're priced exactly at 43%. So I have no edge. At that point, I would just be hoping to pick the winner, be the product of good luck. I'm not getting any kind of edge if I take Spain. Okay, so let's look at the Argentina side. What is their line on the three-way? 260, 265, 270. Let's go in the middle. Let's say plus 265. At plus 265, my break-even's 27%. Now, what did we say? We said Argentina is going to win this game on the three-way about 30% of the time. And at 265, that's 27.4. So I have about a 2.5% implied win probability edge. That's not really enough to place a bet. I mean, technically, you can place a small bet. But again, if you're a betting syndicate, you fire. You have unlimited funds. You're managing risk correctly, and any slight edge, you just bet it. That's what they do. And when the dust settles, they trust that as long as they did that, they're going to cash more tickets than they trash. And at the end of it, there'll be a pile of money waiting for them. That's, baby, you got to sit down. That's what they assume. So we have a slight edge taking Argentina. What about the tie? What about the tie? What are they offering for a tie? Plus 200, plus 210. All right, we'll go down the middle at 205. So plus 205, the break even's 32.8, 33%. And what did I say? We have it at about 27% of the time. So we couldn't bet that at all. We're getting the worst of it, right? We think it'll happen about 27% of the time. At plus 205, it's got to happen 32.5, almost 33%, just to break even. So we can't bet the tie. We can't bet Spain. We can slightly bet Argentina. Luckily, that is already done. We have a future in Argentina. Okay? Now, if we didn't have anything, if we didn't have a bet on the World Cup, how would I approach it? I would probably, in that instance, look to take, what else do they have? Argentina at plus half a goal, or they're getting 0.25 at minus 115. See, that's the problem. Once you add in the VIG, any edge starts to be eliminated. Yeah, see, that's borderline. So I probably wouldn't bet it. And a lot of times that's going to be the case where the line just doesn't give me value. At the end of the day, that's all we're looking for. We're looking for a 50-50 proposition where we could get plus 105. That's what a good bet is. That's exactly what the definition of a good bet is. If I could get plus 105 on heads or tails, because we know heads or tails, I should only get even money, right? It's 50-50. If I put up $1, I should get $1. But what if I have to put up $1 and I get $1.05 every time it lands heads? Well, then heads gives me an edge, right? I'm going to say heads every time. I don't care if it's 10 heads in a row. I'm saying heads on number 11, heads on the 12th, heads on the 13th. Every flip, I'm saying heads. Because as long as it's a fair coin, I know I'm getting the best of it. The handicap doesn't matter. How he's flipping it, whether his arm's tired that day, whether he was lifting the night before, whatever I could handicap. What matters is, at the end of the day, the coin flip's 50-50. And if I'm not getting plus 101, 102, 103, 104, 105 on my money, I'm not getting the best of it. Even worse, most bettors are taking that coin flip, but now they're laying 105. They're taking heads and saying, I'll take heads at minus 105, minus 110. Well, we know after enough flips, you're going broke, bro, because it's even money. You should win $1, lose $1. Now, if every time it lands heads, you lose $1.05, $1.10, but when it lands heads, you only get $1. Well, after enough flips, guess what? That pile of money is going to depreciate, right? It's going to start losing. It's going to disappear. That's exactly what this is. Don't make it any more difficult than it needs to be, because we're fans, because it's sports, because we love this shit. That's what confuses everything. You got to separate yourself. Just like the traders do, the best traders. When I went to that, I talk about it all the time. I went to a seminar I had no business being in. It was top hedge fund guys, I swear to you. Like the one guy was managing like a $450 million portfolio. It wasn't his money, but he was managing it. It was those kind of guys there, okay? And so I had no business at all. But here's what they all would say. Don't marry it. Don't date it. Just trade it. That's it. Don't look at a company. Look at the data. Don't marry it. Don't date it. Just trade it. That's it. Don't marry it. Don't date it. Don't trade. Just trade it. That's all they kept saying. Don't get involved. Don't get involved. Don't get emotionally involved in this shit. Just understand. This is a betting number. I get it. They're teams. They're humans. They're going to go play a game. Both want to win. All that is beautiful. But what is the betting line? And based on true implied win probability, what do? Do I have a bet to make? And obviously for tomorrow, we don't, at least so far. And luckily we have the futures already sitting pretty in our pockets with Spain and with Argentina. Now, as far as the total goes in that game, they priced it right. You saw how I did in totals this year in soccer and in the World Cup. A lot of those totals were mine in World Cup. In fact, almost all were mine in World Cup. Once I saw how the market was moving, it just made sense to me. They priced these the right way. With the England-France, they priced it at 3 over, 3.5 under. And Argentina-Spain, 2 over, 2.5 under is exactly what they should have priced it at. And based on our numbers, so I don't have an edge either way. Now, let's look at England and France today, because here I do think we may have a chance to make some money, or at least place a good bet. Don't know if we're going to make money, but I do think we're going to be able to place a good bet. Here's why. Here's my implied probabilities for these third place game. Three-way line. We have France winning the game 48% of the time. We have England winning the three-way 30% of the time. And we have a draw 22% of the time. Now, let's get the draw out of the way first. They're paying us plus 300 for the draw. At plus 300, my break-even's 25%. So if I'm 28%, 29%, that's a good bet, right? Well, we said we think the draw probability is only 22%. So no value there. We can't bet it, right? All right, let's look at France. We said France should win the three-way 48% of the time. What's France's price? Minus 115, minus 120. Let's go minus 115. At minus 115, my break-even's 53.5%, 54%. Well, we got the 48%. So obviously I can't bet France either. Even if I think France is going to win, and even if France wins, they're just not a good bet. And again, I've turned a profit 9 of 11 years. I've done this and have been able to survive betting sports, learning to do it the right way, coming from nothing, bro. I don't have an education. I didn't come from money. No one lent me shit. I came here with $600 fucking dollars. I lost a ton of money. Ivy League education I lost in bankrolls to be able to do what the fuck I do. And that's make money betting sports. I do that every fucking year. Even years that I've lost, giving picks out, I've made money. I've won money. Again, being able to win is very hard. Being able to win for others is even harder. It took me a while, but I learned how to do that. And that's why I've been able to profit for others 9 out of the last 11 years. But I could promise you, I didn't lose any of those years. I turned profit in all of those. Why? Because I provide accounts for groups that win, and I provide enough accounts, and they bet enough markets with a big enough sample size that it's almost impossible to lose year after year with that many bets and that many markets when you have an edge. It's kind of like this position the sports book's in. That's just me being honest with you. I have more accounts than you could ever fucking imagine, and the groups betting into them win. Unfortunately, I can't use this information, all of it. That's why I wish I could stream every day. I swear to you. I wish I could stream an hour a day before the game start, that final hour that we used to go into the office back in the East Coast, like that. We used to go back in the office at like 5:30, 6 p.m. and stay till about 7:30, 8 p.m. That's when, the majority of games would go off. I would love to stream that an hour during that just to share with bettors what I'm seeing, what has really transpired in the betting market, and be able to answer all questions and share actionable shit that's going on. So much of the information is just like run first inning where the line moves 30, 40 cents. I can't use that. I can't release that. Luckily, we had the Steam sheet and I could share some of that stuff, but it is what it is. Now, let's get back to that England and France because we may have a play. Now, let's get to the England side. England three-way. What's the England three-way paying right now? Plus 300. Ooh, plus 305. Plus 330 at Buckeye. Whoa, okay, so let's say plus 315. I'll meet you halfway. At plus 315, my break-even's 24%. I said England on the three-way is about 30%. Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Got a little value on England in the three-way. Now, let's go a little deeper. When I handicap both matchups with my quants data, we actually show that Spain should be a bigger favorite against Argentina than France is against England. Let me repeat that. Based on my work, I think Spain should be a bigger favorite against Argentina than France should be against England. And yet the market reflects the opposite. Why? Because of what we just saw from England. Same thing I thought. I did Wager Talk yesterday. Watch that. What did I say before I had the data? I said, how can you bet England? They just got defeated in the worst possible way. With 10 minutes to go, they thought they're going to make it to the World Cup final for the first time in 60 years. They're about to become their country's heroes. And boom, next thing you know, it's 1-1. Boom, 6 minutes later, it's 2-1. And you find out you're not going to the finals. And now you got to read about it, hear about it, see it every time they turn on their TV in their hotel. Hear about how did you choke? How did you choke? How did you choke? And now they're supposed to get up and play today and win? Bro, how are they going to do that? I don't know how the fuck they're going to do that. How do I know? But what I know is that plus 315, based on our projections, I got a little bit of value. So maybe I should put all that noise aside. Maybe I should ignore that noise because I can't quantify it. What's that worth when a team is up at the 50-minute mark of a World Cup semifinal, but then loses? What is that worth to the betting line in the next game? Does anyone know? I don't know. So it's noise. It's just noise. That's all it is. None of us have any fucking idea whether it matters to England or not. We could only assume. That's it. Fuck assuming. Let's look for money. Let's look for action. Now, let's look at England. England plus 315. I'm starting to like it a little bit. But let's dig a little more. Let's look at different ways of possibly betting this. What else are they offering us? Let's see. I could take them plus half a goal, minus 110. That's not bad. I could take them plus a full goal at minus 175. That's not bad either. Fuck, they should be at least 210, 220 to get a goal. Wow. And then England to finish third, plus 180. Well, we have France, 55%, I told you. England, 45%. We have Spain, 53.5%. Argentina, 46.5%. So wait a minute. What's England plus 180? What's Or what's France? France to advance is what? To win the game. Minus 220? Minus 220? We think they win 55% of the time. What's minus 220? About 65%? 69%. 69. So at minus 220, they think France wins this game 69% of the time. We think it's closer to 55%. Even if we're off and it's 60%, they're still thinking 69. All right, what about England? What about England? Plus 180. What do I need? What's my break even at plus 180? At plus 180. I got to win 35.7, 36% of the time. 36. I have 46. 45. 45. Oh, fuck. I got edges with England everywhere. How do I bet England? How do I bet England? Well, if I'm selling England, I got to sell a pick, right? So I got to do something like, all right, take the half a goal for 4%. And then I put it up for $25. I sell 100 of them. I make some good money. God bless America. What a country. Hopefully England goes out there and does their job. No. I'm going to share this the way I'm going to bet this. Okay? And luckily, my focus is my partners, my subscribers, you guys that are with me for the year. Or anyone else at least. Take advantage of the 7-day for $49. But $49. Because here's how I'm going to bet it myself. I'm going to put 2 units on England plus 315. I'm going to put 2 units on England plus a goal. And I'm going to put 2 units on England at plus 180 or better to advance. That's how I'm going to bet it. That's how I'm going to bet it. Now, I need to determine how to release it. What's the best way to release it to subscribers? Do I want to risk all 6 units? Let me see. I'm going to make it easy on them so they don't have to go find the alternate line. I'm going to break it down with England 3-way and England plus half goal, right? That covers us that they advance. Because if it's tie, we got them. And if they go into the shootout, we could bet them again live. Or you could bet them before, like I'm going to do, to advance at plus 180. Let me see what's the best way I can give this to you guys. First off, let's do the England 3-way. That's automatic. England 3-way. I'm sorry I'm going a little long today. Don't worry. I'll get everything done because, again, you guys know I do my MMA still I have to do. But let's get England 3-way first. Let's get that in there. Because, again, we're getting too much of an edge not to take this. I mean, I got, see, plus 330. Buckeyes got plus 330. So anything better than 300, we'll put it in at 315. That's fair. $305, I'm saying. I'm putting it in. That's what they have at Wager Talk. Okay, I'll use theirs. That's not bad. But try to get 300, man. Try to get 300. It's available. That's why you need outs, man. Like it's so important to have outs. Like right now, I'm getting the difference between 330 and 300 is $30 on every 100. If you're betting $500, that's a $150 difference. You know how much that adds up over and over and over and over again? Highly, highly recommend outs. And especially now, look at Kalshi, Poly Market. Dude, I'm getting the best lines on there. We have so many options nowadays. All right, so we got England in there, 2% plus 305 on the three-way. Now, we also want to bet them to either advance at plus 180 or take that half a goal at minus 110. I'm going to do both. But again, my job is also to protect my subscribers. And I know with football coming, I don't want you bleeding any units. It's very important to me that we win in 2026 and turn a profit when the dust settles. So that's why you've seen how selective I'm being of late. And that's going to continue. And with football coming, again, we're very prepared for football. And I'm going to share that with you in a minute. But let's just finish up here. Yeah. Do I want half a goal or do I take the advance? You know what? I'm going to give England to advance also. That's definitely plus EV. And none of you have to look. I'm going to bet that alternate line at plus a goal. I'm betting that alternate line, just so you know. There's the alternate line gives me them at plus a goal. I'm betting it. Instead of taking a half a goal at minus 120, I'm going to take the full goal. I found minus 165. So now I'm just going to send out this prop, England to advance. Plus 180. Shop it. I swear to you, I just bet plus 200. All right. So we have 2% on England plus 305 in the three-way and 2% on England to qualify, advance, finish in third. Yeah. Fuck yeah. All right. Let's go. All right. Let's go. Let's go. Now, let me read off the baseball that would have been in the Steam sheet, but I knew you guys are coming here, so I'm going to read it off. I have not confirmed any premium in baseball. You saw yesterday, I only sent out 1 4%, 1 3%. We hit the 4%. We lost the 3% play. And yesterday we ended up, it looks like a losing day, but the 3 tennis that we bet on the Steam sheet, that 9 units doesn't show up. So as long as you are making money, that's all I give a shit about. Here's the baseball. And the reason we're being even extra selective is you got to get through this first series of return in the All-Star break. Then Monday, they're back in normal routine. All right, so let me start off with 905 under 9, St. Louis, Arizona. 908 Milwaukee minus 130. 910 Toronto even money. 911 over 911 over 8.5 Philly Houston. 913 Tampa Bay plus 105. Tampa Bay plus 100. 915 Detroit minus 180. 919 Texas plus 110 and the under 9.5. 924 Cleveland plus 105. 928 Yankees minus 105 and over 8.5. And then 931 Pittsburgh plus 115. Now, CFL, Canadian football. They bet Calgary, 682, Calgary +2. And finally, WNBA, 636 over 178, New York, Indiana. 639, Washington +10. And then 638, Minnesota -11.5 and 12. Minnesota, we have a future on the Minnesota Lynx at +750 to win the WNBA championship. They are the best team on paper. They were the best team on paper when we bet it. As of today, let me see. Maybe you guys still get value. They're +125. That's doing our fucking job. +750. Now you could get +125, even money. And we got +750 on that. Yes. That's who I give a shit. That's why subscribers. Judge me December 31st, bitches. Anyone that jumped ship, good. Please, 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 Wager Talk, do not allow them back on. Don't throw no life preserver. When they want to jump on board for NFL and college football, no. This door's closed. The door stays closed. What I do, because I don't sleep, and sleep's one of the most important factors as far as longevity goes. If you want to live long, you better sleep. And I don't sleep at all. I rarely have insomnia. I could fall asleep most nights, but I don't stay asleep. So like I sleep maybe 3, I swear to you, if I sleep of 3 hours, that's a good night. Usually it's closer to 2 hours with being in bed for 5. You know what I mean? So like I'm getting rest because I'm in bed, but I'm not out for more than 2 hours. I've gone to doctors for this. They all want to give me drugs. I can't do those drugs because you wake up like feeling like I drank fucking a case of fucking, liters of vodka the day before. So Jack, no, Daddy has to work right now. Later, we're going to play. I took him for 2 walks already. Okay. Because I got up so early and I felt bad that I'm going to be working, trading, doing Steamroom, Wager Talk, last call. So I already taken him for 2 walks, already given him his treats, his breakfast and treats for him, like a new bully stick, and got him a new plush toy. All he does is rip them open and make a mess. But anyway. Oh shit, what happened? Hold on. Am I seeing this right? Yes. Yeah, I'm like, wait, how do we make all this money? Yeah, we hit both of our soccer totals, the 2 4%. I'm like, damn, how did this account get like that? Go on. Fuck yeah. All right, so we're 2-0. Jack, relax. When he sees me happy, he gets nuts because he thinks he's like, I'm going to be so happy. He's getting something out of it. You're so selfish. Okay. Now, great way to start. Great way to start. Coupled with that tennis. And again, I know it doesn't show up in my results, but I don't give a shit. As long as I know you guys are making money, I'm a happy guy. So you got the baseball, WNBA, CFL, soccer. Those are what we're looking at. Now, MMA, there's no UFC package up. Why? Because I'm not bleeding any units out. Okay. We were number 1 in MMA over the last 7 or 8 events. And that's not surprising because I told you, we're coming off a rare losing year in MMA. But today's card, I gave out 1-3%. And that's the under 2.5, Melisano and Barbosa. I think if either girl wins, they do so inside the distance. So I thought that was a decent bet. Elsewhere, here are some leans. I like Anderson. And then I like Jean-Paul Lebazoyani at like almost a 2-1 dog. I like Bashi over Delgado. I like Chase Hooper inside the distance. And I like the over in the main event. I don't know if I'll be able to confirm any of his premiums because like I told you, this is serious time. We have 5.5 months. There's no waste of fucking premiums or units. We're not bleeding out any units or just throwing action. only the strongest shit. And if I don't sell to new people, fuck it. I don't care. Because what matters to me is you guys that put your trust in me for 2026. And I have some work to make up. But like I said, I like the over 3.5 in the main event. I like Chase Hooper inside the distance. I like Bashi over Delgado. I like Lebos Noyani over Ko at almost a 2-1 dog. I like Anderson also at anything better than -150. But the only bet I've gotten to the window with is the under 2.5 in Melisano and Barbosa. Kind of like today's tennis, where in the female side, I liked Badosa, Sakari, and Krejcikova. And Badosa was almost a 4-1 favorite, but we had her winning close to 98% of the time, if you can believe that. So even at like, 370, you could actually bet it and say you got the best of it. But again, we're not in that position right now. My goal is to make sure 2026 is a winning year. Now, the other two, Maria Sakari and Barbara Krejcikova, they were both about -150. And our implied win had them about 72, 73%. So the price was 60, 61% break even. We had them at about 70, 72%. So we had almost a big enough edge to bet, but I felt I now would be pushing the parameters a little bit. And I don't want to do that since I'm originating our own shit when it comes to tennis now. I set up what my parameters are for the edge I'm looking for, and we're going to stick to it. So instead, I just put in a three-player parlay through the account that I have the biggest future on Argentina with, because I bet him, he gave me plus 1075. I have plus 1075. So almost 11-1 on Argentina with his book. So if Argentina wins, I'm going to crack him a little bit. So I put in a parlay through his account. I'm doing that with accounts that I have like the bigger futures on Spain for tomorrow, because I have a lot on Spain and a decent amount on Argentina. I'm putting in some negative EV shit to help soften the blow, hopefully. Or even if these win, at least they see that, I'm not just trying to beat them. I'm trying to beat them, but you know what I mean. And that was Badosa, Sakari, and Greshkova. I put a 3-player parlay, and that paid about 2.5-1. Now, other futures pending. I told you we have the Brewers at over 15-1, and we got Tampa Bay at about 15-1 as well. Beautiful, beautiful, beautiful where we sit there. Now, again, power rating wise, I didn't have Tampa Bay as the best team in the American League, but my quant had that Tampa Bay is going to win the most games. So knowing they're going to win the most games and getting 15-1 for them to win the World Series, I figured they're going to get in the playoffs for sure. They're probably going to get home field in the AL for sure because they're going to win the most games. Hey, at 15-1, why not? And then the Brewers, because the Dodgers are so good, they were giving us 15-1 on the Brewers, where on paper, I have the power ratings where I have Dodgers and then the Brewers like this. Not like this, like this. Like 1A, 1B. So now, I told you I was going to share with you the power ratings for NFL and college football. I'm going to do that so then I could jump off here and see if I could confirm any more MMA for you and any more baseball. And who knows, we may even get some summer league shit. Speaking of summer league, let me look if that book. Okay, nothing there. Give me 1 second. What's that book that we're using now? Fuck, what are they called? I could never remember these books' names. There's so many of them. There's one book's called Square 999. Love him. Oh, Diamond. Come on, Diamonds. Diamonds. Diamond Sportsbook. My man. All right. Got it. I like how they put that. If you're using a bot, we're not going to pay you. Got it. Okay. Now, power ratings. Here we go. I'm going to start off with the NFL. All right. Top 10 power rated teams. And then I'm going to give you the exact rating for those of you that want to create your own and try to use them throughout this year. So start off with the number 1 power rated team. That's the Seattle Seahawks. Number 1 defense, top 5 offense, and about a 15th strength of schedule. We project them to win 11 games, go 11-6. Second best team in the NFL, LA Rams. Number 1 offensively, top 10 defense. Difficult strength of schedule, though. They have a top 3 strength of schedule. So we have them projected to win 10 games. Third best team in the NFL, Detroit. Detroit, top 3 offense. They got problems on defensive side of the ball, though. But they do have an easy strength of schedule. The 4th best team and the first AFC team on the list is the Buffalo Bills. Why? Offense. Again, they'll have a top 3 offense this year, but it's the defensive side of the ball where they're barely cracked the top 20 in efficiency. But another team with a bottom 10 schedule. So pretty easy schedule for them. 5th best team, power rating wise, Philadelphia Eagles. Defense, defense, defense. We have them as top 3 in defensive efficiency. They haven't cracked the top 10, forgive me, in offense. That's where they got to improve, but another imaginable schedule for them. Now, 6th, second AFC team and 6th on our list overall, that's the Baltimore Ravens. Balance, top 10 offense, top 10 defense, easy schedule. I think only 1 or 2 teams have an easier schedule than Baltimore. After Baltimore, we have Houston at number 7. Again, balance, top 15 offense, top 10 defense, difficult, easy strength of schedule. Forgive me. I think Houston has the easiest strength of schedule in the NFL. We have them projected to win close to 10 games, though. But they are 7th power rating wise. Again, when we get into college, you understand what I mean by that. Now, number 8 is San Francisco 49ers. Difficult schedule. That's the problem for the 49ers looking ahead. They do have a top 5 offense, but they need to improve on the defensive side of the football. We have them projected to win about 9.2 games. Now, 9th best team on that list is the Green Bay Packers. Again, balance. Top 10 offense, top 10 defense. Manageable schedule, but not easy. It's probably in the top 15 in difficulty for Green Bay. And finally, at number 10, it's the Denver Broncos. Now, they got to pick it up on the offense. They're barely in the top 20 in efficiency, but that defense is top 3, and it's going to keep them in football games. That's why they're going to win at least 9 games. Now, strength of schedule, about 14th, 15th in the NFL, so mid-level. But we do have Denver 10th power rated wise. Now, bottom 5 team, the worst 5 teams in the league. New York Jets, they are the worst. Jets are the worst, followed by Tennessee, the Raiders, the Browns, and Carolina. That's Jets, Tennessee, Vegas, Cleveland, and Carolina. Now, strength of schedule. These 5 teams have the easiest strength of schedule. Detroit, New Orleans, Cincinnati, Cleveland, New York Jets. Toughest strength of schedule. Arizona, Miami, Carolina, Dallas, and the Rams. Now, getting back to power ratings, how you can start your own, okay? You pick a number and you work from there. With us, we have the number 1 team, Seattle Seahawks. They have a rating of 11.0, 11.0. Now, I'm only going to do it in halves. I'm not going to get to like 0.23, 0.39 like we have it. I'm going to round off for you guys, make it easy for you. So Seattle has a rating of 11. The Rams have a rating of a 10. Detroit has a rating of 9. Buffalo has a rating of 9. Philly has a rating of 8. Baltimore has a rating of 8. Houston has a rating of 7.5. San Francisco, 7.5. Green Bay, 7. Denver, 6.5. Now, keep in mind, some of those that are the same, that's where it'll differ, where one is 9.11, the other is 9.30, okay? But they're very comparable, so I'll just say it one more time. Seattle, 11. Rams, 10. Detroit, 9. Buffalo, 9. Philly, 8. Baltimore, 8. Houston, 7.5. San Francisco, 7.5. Green Bay, 7. Denver, 6.5. So, Seattle being number 1, has a rating of 11. Denver, being number 10, has a rating of 6.5. That's a 4.5 point difference. So on a neutral field, if Seattle was playing Denver, we would take that 11, that's Seattle's rating, and subtract Denver's 6.5 from it. And the point spread should be Seattle minus 4.5 on a neutral field. Now, if they were playing in Seattle, we'd probably add 2.2, 2.3%, no more than 2.5%. Forget the 3 points that everyone still thinks NFL stadiums are worth. They're not. Average is around 2.1, 2.2%, 2.2 points. So I say you should do everyone 2 or 2.5 at the most. No more 3s. Most stadiums are worth around 2 points to the betting line. So if they're playing in Seattle, we would expect Seattle to be a 6.5 point favorite. That's taking into account the teams are healthy. So if we look up on the board and Seattle's a 7.5 point favorite, well, we have a bet on Denver, right? Now, if we look up on the board and the line's 5, well, we have a bet on Seattle. They should be 6.5. It's that simple. Now, the difference between the number 1 team, Seattle, and the worst team, the New York Jets, is exactly 11 points. We give the Jets a 0 rating. We start the season with the Jets at 0. Now, some teams will get into the negatives as the season progresses, just like some teams may eclipse 11. But as of today, if the season was starting tomorrow and all teams were healthy, the difference between the number 1 team and the last place team is 11 points. So every team is somewhere in the middle there. I gave you what we think, with Seattle going down to Denver, down to 6.5. You have to choose the other 22 teams or so and how they fit in to that final 6.5 points from 0 where the Jets are to 6.5 where Denver is. You do that, you create your own power rating, start the season. And then you adjust every week like we're going to do. Really is that hard or that simple. Now, next, college football. This I love. This is my favorite. This is where if you're betting college football and you don't have a subscription with me, you're a fucking idiot. Forgive me I just got to be that blunt. Like if you look over the last decade, few have done damage to college football like I've done. And now with the power ratings that I'm armed, forget about it. So here's what we got. Now, in college football, the average home field advantage is about 2.5 points. Again, people are saying 4 points. This team's worth 5 points. No, they're not. No, they're not. Now, maybe 10 years ago, 15 years ago, it was home field advantage was worth more. Why? Players and teams weren't as accustomed to traveling. Now, dude, they're all used to it. They all fly freaking private. They stay in the nicest freaking hotels. Like, it's different. It's different than it once was, where home field advantage was worth 3.5 points, sometimes higher. In college football, shit, there were years Alabama had close to a 6-point favorite at home for playing at home. Now, let's get to college football. Here we go. Number 1 team heading into, and I'm glad I haven't seen any rankings. I think they haven't put any out yet, thank God. But I can't wait till they do, and we get to compare mine, tear the AP poll, the coaches poll. Rest assured it'll be different, and it needs to be different. Number 1, Ohio State. Number 1's Ohio State. Now, why? They got the number 1 defense, top 5 offense, but a difficult top 10 strength of schedule. That's why we have them winning 10 games, going about 10-2. But Ohio State is the number 1 power-rated team for us. Number 2, Indiana. The best offense in all of college football, followed by top 3 defense. Easier strength of schedule for Indiana in the top 30. We have them winning a little more than Ohio State. We project them to win 10.5, close to 11 games, going 10.5 and 1.5, believe it or not. Now, 3rd, power rated, Notre Dame. Notre Dame, baby. Top 3 offense, top 3 defense, but more importantly, top 70 strength of schedule. So there's like 60 college football teams with a tougher strength of schedule than Notre Dame. That's why we have Notre Dame winning at least 11 games, going 11-1 at worst. But Ohio State would still be favored over them on a neutral field. This is what matters. Okay, records can be deceiving, and that's why I do so well in college football, and even better than any other sport. Yeah, at least over the last whatever years. And that's the reason, because I'm able to pick apart their rankings and find those overvalued, undervalued teams and make money doing it. Now, number 4, Oregon, balanced, top 3 offense, top 5 defense, top 25 strength of schedule. So not the easiest, but we do think they could win 10 games. The 5th best team in college football, balance, Georgia. Top 5 offense, top 5 defense, same strength of schedule as Oregon, tougher, a little bit tougher strength of schedule. That's why we have them winning about 9.5 games, going 9.5 and 2.5. Now, the 6th best team in college football, more SEC, that's Mississippi. They got to improve defensively, but they got a top 5 offense, and we have them winning 9 games also, right around 9 games. Now, the 7th best team, and I was hard on them last year. I keep repeating that, but I was, and that's Miami. Now, Miami doesn't have a top 10 offense or top 10 defense. They're top 15 in both, but they have a strength of schedule that's as easy as Notre Dame's. That's why I have Miami winning more games than Mississippi, more games than Georgia. But both Georgia and Mississippi would be favored over Miami. That's why college sports is so beatable. Now, number 8, Texas. Not in the top 10 offensively, not in the top 10 defensively, but they are top 15 in both, just like Miami. The difference is Texas won't be ranked after a handful of weeks because the rankings are based on a record. And Texas has the most difficult strength of schedule in all of college football. No team has a tougher strength of schedule than Texas does. That's why we think their max wins will probably be 8 games. So here's a team that's going to be 8-4, most likely, but they'll be favored over a lot of 10-win teams. And the rankings won't reflect it. But I think when we get to the betting window, we'll see who's right. We'll see who the market favors. Now, number nine, I know most rankings won't have them in their top 10, but for me, again, until I see this franchise, as we can call it, take a step backwards, they're a top 10 team always, and that's Alabama. Why? Because they're cracking that top 10 in offense, and they're in that top 10, crack that top 10 in defense. Difficult strength of schedule, but that's nothing new for Alabama. They're used to that. So I have number 9, Alabama. Number 10, and I'm sure they're going to be on a lot of top 5s, and I'm sure after week 5 or 6, they'll be in a lot of top 3s, but they're not. That's Texas Tech. Now, Texas Tech, top 10 offense, top 15 defense, but more importantly for them, they have the easiest strength of schedule out of all those teams I mentioned. Even easier than Notre Dame, which is in the 60s as far as difficulty goes. This is why we believe Texas Tech will win a minimum of 10 games. So they'll win more than Texas. They'll win more than Alabama. They'll win more than Mississippi. They'll win more than Georgia. But they should be an underdog to all those teams on a neutral field. That's the key. Now, here are the number ratings next to each team. Start off with Ohio State. We started with 11 in college, in NFL. In college, we start with 100. Why? Because there's a lot of teams, right? And a lot more variance in scoring, which is why we don't tease college football. Now, start off with Ohio State. They're the best team in college football. Their rating is 100. Number 2, Indiana, 98.5. Number 3, Notre Dame, 96.5. Number 4, Oregon, 96. Georgia, 94. Mississippi, 92. Miami, 91.5. Texas, 91.5. Alabama, 91. Texas Tech, 90. One last time. Ohio State, 100. Indiana, 98.5. Notre Dame, 96.5. Oregon, 96. Georgia, 94. Mississippi, 92. Miami, 91.5. Texas, 91.5. Alabama, 91. Texas Tech, 90. So if Ohio State with a rating 100 was playing Alabama with a rating of 91 on a neutral field, we'd make Ohio State a 9-point favorite. If they're playing in Ohio State, we'd add about 2.5 points. So we should look up at the board and see Ohio State should be about an 11.5-point favorite against Alabama. Now, if they were 14, we'd take Alabama. Both teams full strength. We see 9, we're on the favorite. It's that simple. Now, what you notice is the difference in parity. In the NFL, the difference between the number 1 team and the number 10 team is 4.5 points. In college football, the difference between number 1 and number 10 is 10 points. Almost as much as in NFL from number 1 Seattle to 32 Jets, where we have the 11-point difference between the best and the worst in the NFL is only a difference of 11 points. In the top 10 in college football, the difference is 10 points. This is why college football is such a beatable sport, but this is also why college football, you stick to sides and totals. You don't tease, you don't parlay, you strictly find inefficiencies and fire. So, you got the power ratings. They will also, we did a video yesterday, so that'll be out. If you didn't write it all down, they'll be out. I don't think I gave the rating like I gave you guys, but they're there. And so you could start doing your own. You could disagree with me. You may have Indiana on top of Ohio State. Start with Indiana at 100. You know what I mean? Or you may have the Rams above the Seahawks or what have you. Create your own and just try it. Just try it. All right. Just seeing if there's anything. Oh, no, John, that's a great question. The only thing worse than under betting is over betting. Over betting is the worst because it'll break you and you'll be out of action. Under betting is dangerous because you're not maxing your profit. And if you get cold by not maxing out your profit, that could cost you during those times. Like where before you would be at break even, now you're down units. You have double the work to make up where you really shouldn't if you would have just bet it to that exact or more efficient bet size. The difficulty is, other than closing line value, it's hard to determine exactly what your edge is. Like we could know, like I said, that fight, like we bet a fight at minus 130 and it closes minus 170. I can do the math quickly and I could determine I have close to a 10% edge. It's not always that black and white, especially when you have point spreads in there and 6.5 compared to 7.5. Then you got to translate it to a money line. Like it becomes more difficult in knowing what your exact edge is. Now, again, you could simply do it by closing line value because that is a proven edge. If you have CLV, you're a mathematical certainty to turn a profit long-term, as long as you manage risk correctly, because you're beating the market. So if you're constantly beating the market, you're making money. It's the equivalent in any other market. If you're constantly buying Bitcoin at its lows, you're making money because you're able to sell it at its highs. But if you're constantly buying at the highs, you're fucked. You're always selling lower. You're always at a loss. But yeah, you don't want to underbet your edge either, but it's more dangerous to overbet. Underbetting will cost you also, but it won't break you. That's the difference, where over betting is going to break you. Yeah, chasing is the worst thing you could do, NYC. I've been there, bro, where I wouldn't leave a casino, whether I was playing poker or blackjack or any, like, you know what I mean? Like, here I was 4 or 5 hours later, I was down 3,000. Now I'm only down $200, but I want to get even. Like, I don't want to, I need to get even, or I want to be up. I didn't do this for nothing. And then boom, once again, now I'm leaving down 2,000. Instead of, I could have just walked out with a $200 loss. But instead I needed to break even. Bro, that's happened to me in trading stocks, in trading crypto. And again, this is after betting sports. Like, I should have already learned my lesson betting sports. That's a recipe for disaster. But it just goes to show you, man, we're human. And like, that temptation is constantly there, and it's always going to be there. And that's how markets are built. They are built. Markets are built and designed to transfer wealth. That's what they're due. That's what they're built to do. And they transfer wealth from impatient people to patient people, and from inefficient people to efficient people. That's exactly what markets do. And that's why institutions make all the money, because they're efficient. They're very efficient in how they trade, where we don't. We're emotional. We're not technical. And that's that, you know, maybe in life that's okay to be that way, but in the business world, that's a negative. Doing anything off emotion is a negative. And when you're talking about money and your opinion, which is ego driven, how can you not get emotional? That's why you need systems. When you have systems and rules, they keep you in check. But can you stick to them? That was my biggest hurdle. Like, I knew what to do. I had the knowledge, I had the experience, I had the education. Like, fuck, how many times do I have to see this before I realize it? So I'm not the smartest guy in the room, but I know I'm not a complete idiot either. And like, eventually it sinks in. Like, okay, you're doing this the wrong way, bro. Do it the right way. So most of you are sharp enough. You know right from wrong. Like, you don't need me to tell you. And please don't ever, when I share my experiences or knowledge, don't ever assume that I'm coming from a level of authority, bro. That's not what I'm doing. I'm coming from a level of experience. And a lot of the experience is good, but a lot of the experience is bad also. But I'm willing to share those. Hopefully you can avoid them, because they are part of the road to being a profitable trader. But that don't mean you got to experience every pitfall that I did. So if I could help you avoid some of those, that's my goal. And chasing bad bets, chasing action is one of the quickest way to go down that rabbit's hole of debt, like building a huge hole that didn't have to be there. Dude, it's happened to me where I had no business, like, just sitting around being bored. And then I'll look on and there's the odds. And all of a sudden I'm looking at a live score, seeing the betting line. I'm like, oh, wait, there's a bet there, mate. No, there isn't, bro. What are you talking about? I'm trying to find the bet. It should jump out at me. Inefficiency should jump out. I shouldn't have to dig my way into it. And again, most of us know what we're doing. We understand when we're making mistakes. We know when we're over betting. We know when we're chasing. We know when we're placing a bet we shouldn't. We know when we're taking a bad number. But can we stop ourselves from doing that, man? That's the key. And I don't know how to teach someone that, because it took me a long time. I hope most of you are built differently and can overcome those hurdles quicker than I did. But I'm telling you, like, I should have had wealth a lot sooner. And by wealth, I mean for me, like, to where I'm financially secure and comfortable. I should have been there a lot sooner. I was my own worst enemy the entire way. Like, I created my own hurdles the entire way because I knew better. It's different if you don't know better. Then it's not your fault. Like, you're going to learn from experience. You can't be born knowing that shit. But I was surrounded by very sharp guys that were doing this at very high levels and were winning. There was no reason I couldn't have mimicked that. There was zero reason I shouldn't have caught on to that sooner and had the discipline, the self-awareness to, bro, what are you doing? You're gambling. These guys aren't gambling. That's why you're losing. And as long as you're gambling, you know what happens to gamblers. They lose. Gamblers don't win. The house wins. Bookies win. But we're not, I don't look at what I do as gambling. It's like with trading. Like if I looked at it as gambling, I promise you, I would not be investing the capital that I'm investing or having the balls to bet the bets, place the bets that I make. But I'm very confident I have the best of it. And that's, as long as I feel I have the best of it, I'm comfortable. I'm okay with that. Like, even if I lose, again, no one wants to lose, but at least I know I'm placing good bets. But again, it's a long about wave NYC of saying, bro, you know what to do, dude. Get to where you're actually practicing what you preach. Most of you, again, are sharp, smart fucking guys. You're not idiots. You're not here by accident. Like, you could tell the difference between a scammer, a dude talking shit, a tout, a guy selling bullshit internet dream, than someone that actually is a fucking grinder that does this shit for real. You could see the difference. That's why you're in here. Like, so I know you're fucking sharp enough to know right from wrong when it comes to sports betting. And that's why I love having the Steamroom. And I love having long-term subscribers, because we could come in here and remind each other of that shit. And even I need to be reminded. And the fact that I got to come in here and go over year to date, explain that, yeah, I'm down. I'm down. If the year ended right now, I will have failed you, because my job is to, like, I'm not here to, like, again, you can't guarantee the future, but I'm trying to, if I'm selling a product, and when it comes to sports betting, a subscription, it needs to be a result. Like, I'm selling a result. That's how I approach it. And I feel like our result is profit. And right now, I haven't produced that in 2026. Now, unfortunately, I have a history going back to 2015 that's actually documented. That's a long time. But that don't mean anything to you. If you just met me 3 months ago, that don't mean shit to you. The only thing that fucking matters is what I do this year, right? So, bro, I get it better than most, believe me. But the reason I bring up 2015, 2016, 2018, 2020 is because it proves that I have a history of doing this. Again, it's the equivalent of coming on. There's so many in the sports betting world, anybody can come on and talk all kind of shit, but it would be as if I read 100 books on brain surgery and I came in here and just kept talking all this knowledge on brain surgery, but I haven't performed a single fucking procedure. Would you trust me to operate on your head? Would I be the guy, even though I know everything, but I read every book written on brain surgery, and I could recall word for word every sentence of every one of those books, because I've done nothing but read those books for the last 25 years. Would you still let me operate on your head? Fuck no. But the guy across the street, he's done it for the last 10 years, and he's got 90 patients. 85 of them survived and are thriving. 5 of them didn't work out so well. I'm going to go with that guy, right? I'm not the guy that is sounds great, looks great, but has zero fucking experience and isn't doing this for real. Because, bro, I could promise you, I'm not calling out names, but there's a lot of sports bettors on the gram showing a lot of money betting that are down not 6, but 7 figures to sports books in Las Vegas and bookies around the world. In fact, many of them are on payment plans to bookmakers around the world as they show you their luxurious lifestyle and all that money they're making betting sports. No, they're trying to convince you to send them money to buy their stupid fucking picks and their luck and their can't lose tonight. I have that one game. Dude, if it worked like that, then fucking wait for that one game, liquidate everything you have, double up your freaking net worth, do that 2 or 3 more times and disappear. What the fuck are you on the gram for? Bro, that's not how it works. Like, this shit's a grind. I love it. I was built for this. There's nothing I'd rather do. But it ain't easy. I'm not going to try to convince you that it's going to be easy. But it shouldn't be, dude. It shouldn't be. It should be difficult. Like, anything that matters is difficult. Monday, I hired a trainer so that Monday I start working out again correctly. Like, I've done it throughout my life, but I want to work out correctly. All right. So I hired a professional to help me do this because it matters to me. Right now, I have to put in the work. It's on me to put in the work. It's not on him. He can only provide the necessary tools for me, but I have to be willing to put in the work. I have to be willing to show up, to not cancel, to follow through and do it on my own on days he's not going to do it, and be there to, side by side. Like, that part's on me. It's like that with everything. Like, anything that of value is going to take hard work, and it's going to be on you. And this venture is no different, man. It's no different. But once you do figure it out, then the opportunities become endless, because markets are endless, books are endless, and it's just growing. The Kalshis, the poly markets, that shit's just starting. You're now at ground zero for all of that. There's nothing but opportunity for you young guys in these markets if you learn how to use them. But if you approach it like a gambler, like those dudes on the internet showing you those flashy cars and those flashy fucking toys that they have, that didn't come from betting, but came from people just like you that sent them $100 and $500 and $1,000. That's where all that shit came from. And so much of it came that even though they've lost 7 figures betting, they still have more enough left over, because they've convinced so many young new bettors that are looking for an easy fix that this is how it's done, that you could do it this way. It's just like, bro, think about it in the health industry. Like, I'm talking about now, working out and eating right and stuff. Think about how many fad diets over the last 30 fucking years, before the shot, before this GLP shit. How many diets were out there? And what was every diet, what was it designed to do? Make it easy on you, right? So that you don't have to work hard to lose weight. So that now you could eat what you want. Remember those commercials? Eat what you want. Never work out. What were they trying to entice? That emotional side of us that thinks, fuck, not eating sucks. Working out sucks. Wow. I could have that without working out. I could have that body with eating whatever the fuck I want. Sure, I'm down. I'm in. Where do I sign up? It's the same shit with sports betting. Wait, you mean I don't have to fucking grind? I'm not going to have losing days and weeks. There is no variance. I don't have to bet size correctly. It don't matter how many outs I have. I don't have to line shop. Oh shit, this is fucking awesome. And wait, I'm going to have that same Corvette in 3 months too? No fucking way. Okay, sign me up. Where do I send my $1,000? And little do they know, you have a $3,000 fucking bankroll. What the fuck are you going to do with $3,000? Like, what business in this planet are you going to open with $3,000 that you're going to make $50,000 a month with? Tell me so I could open one too. Like, what business can you start with $10,000 that you're going to make $50,000 a month on? Every single month. Zero, none, right? Live in the real world, where if you have a business that you start with $10,000, If at the end of the year, after paying all your expenses, you made 15% on top of that, fuck, you're in the 1% that actually made money off your small business in your first year of business. Most lose money the first 3 to 5 years. And then 7 out of 10 end up closing their doors within 5 years. That's what business is. That's the real world. And that's if you have a product and they still close down. Again, this isn't to discourage you. This is to encourage you, but so that you know what you're walking into. Again, luckily, this is where the internet is a beautiful tool, because we have the ability to determine what's bullshit and what's worth paying attention to. And I know that my way isn't the easy way, but it's a proven way. And at the end of the day, it goes back to dieting. Burn more calories than you consume. End result, weight loss. I don't know how you get there, whether it's less food, whether it's burning more by exercise. Somehow, that equation has not changed. That equation is the exact same since the beginning of time. How do you drop weight? Burn more than you consume. And yet, for decades and centuries, we've looked for an easy answer. Because it's hard work, bro. It's hard fucking work. And sports betting is no different. It's no different, but you can do it. Just develop those factors that matter. Patience, discipline, ability to withstand variance. That's what makes you a winning sports bettor. Winning information in 2026, that's easy to get. Learning to even beat the market yourself, if you have the time and the fucking passion, yeah, that's doable too in 2026. Fuck, I gave you a course in blackjack on how you could be the favorite every time you walk in the casino. If you buy, whoever bought my year got a free course on advantage blackjack that I paid over $5,000 for. I used for over a decade, and makes you the favorite every time you walk into the casino against the house. It's right there at Wager Talk for you. Anyone could take it and within 8 weeks learn how to do it. But do you have the drive, the passion to actually follow through and make it work? Like the steps are there. The blueprint's there. There is nothing stopping you from beating a game of black. Like, you could be an advantage blackjack player in 2 months. In 2 fucking months, you could be a threat to the casino. Zero probability that won't be the case if you learn that system. Zero chance you won't be the favorite. Yet, how many are going to do it? How many actually are going to put in the time and the hours that it takes to master advantage blackjack so that they could go in there and beat the house? I spent 3 months putting that course together. And I told Johnny, it was the one, I said, I'm going to share shit, bro, that I learned on my own from experience that no one's going to ever add in a book. That even if I wrote a book on beating blackjack, I'm not going to add this shit in there, because this is actually where I find most of my edge. And I said, I'm going to share that with them so that if they really, really, truly fucking follow this, practice it, learn it, they don't ever need me again for nothing. They will not, as far as blackjack goes, they do not need anything from me. They could take that, run with it, and make as much fucking money as they can. In fact, it is the exact system, except improved, that the MIT group used. And they wrote books about them, made movies about them. And here we are 30 years later, and everybody knows about them. Okay? And we have at Wager Talk a course given for free, for fucking free. You get it? To beat the game of blackjack. And wait, did I prove that? Go look at video. I wish I could play. That's proven. Again, that's not me showing off. That's just reality. of the shit that I have to deal with for beating the game. And I put a course together that in only 8 fucking videos teaches you how to beat the game, what games to look for, what rules to look for, what bankroll you need, what your risk of ruin is, exact unit size, exact edge before the freaking cards are dealt, what your edge is, how not to get thrown out, all that shit. How many are actually using it? How many are doing it? I think we had like 40 guys took that course. Okay? How many are doing it? How many tried it 3, 4, 10 times, didn't get rich, said, fine. And it's the exact, it's the fucking, it is the blueprint that you can print money if you could get away with using it. Like the reason I'm not printing money using it is because I can't get away with it. People know what I look like now. Like I can't do it, unfortunately. Like, so I have to use different times. Like if I'm with a girl and I have her play and I stand behind her, or if it's a holiday here in Vegas and like New Year's Eve, or it's a big UFC event or a boxing event and there's such a crowd, those are opportunities I look to apply that craft because I can't do it. I would have to travel to do it. And yet so many of you that no one knows what your faces look like. No one knows your freaking names. And you have a blueprint to go in there and beat them, have an edge over them. And who's doing it? Who's doing it? Because it ain't fucking easy, bro. Because you have to put in the work. Again, it's on you. At the end of the day, it's on you. I can help you by providing the tools and the experience that I've gone through. I can't help you with a lot of things. I told you there's 2 things that I know I am a fucking master at, that there's nobody's going to sit across from me and tell me shit that I don't know. I'm very confident in that. It's advantage blackjack and it's sports betting. If you give me an account, I'm going to beat you. If you deal me cards, I'm going to beat you. And there's nothing you can do about it. There's nothing you can do about it. Zero. You have 0 chance of beating me long term. If you're going to deal me cards and I could play the game fairly, there's no chance I'm not taking your money. 0 chance. 0 chance. None. Not there's 0 probability. Like it's not even possible that I'm not going to take your money because I'm the house at this point when it comes to blackjack. And this sports is no different. It's just the sample size is different. Because in blackjack, you see it obvious because I could play 200 hands an hour. In sports, I got to take fucking a month to make 200 bets. Most of you sign up for 7 days, 3 days, 5 days. Okay. You don't get to see. You don't get to see shit of us beating closing lines. I'm down for this year. You know what we've done to the betting line, the closing line value we've had? We've gotten so unlucky at times. That's not going to, that shit changes. That's why 9 out of 11 probable years, because eventually that changes. Okay? Just like you can't defy probability forever, it can't be defied on you forever. I know we have the edge with sports. I have 0 doubt. And again, it's on me to use this information correctly and narrow down the most advantageous positions. And I need to continue to improve on that. But we have the tools. That's what matters most. And again, with the blackjack, it's there. It's waiting. It's just sitting there. Anytime, any day, anyone wants to learn, it's just waiting for you. So with that said, I'm going to go see if we could confirm any more UFC for you. Any of those baseball that are worth betting, we're going to bet. Otherwise, we're going to cheer in England. We hit our soccer already, 2-4% for today. And tomorrow we're going to hit one of our futures in the World Cup and see what other kind of action we could get in. And we start fresh on Monday. So let me see if there's anything. 4-0 right now, Anthony. Lithuanian soccer cashes. Let's go. Let's go. Here we go. We're not fucking around no more. Thoughts on Duplessis Usman? Yes, sir, Mike. I like Duplessis. At this price, it's Duplessis or pass. The problem is I'd be going more on opinion than implied win probability. Like, I don't think we have a huge edge in the betting line, but based on where it opened, I could only look at Duplessis or pass because I could have got a lot better number on Usman earlier in the week, when this line opened up. So, and I do think the Duplessis side is the right side. You have a huge age advantage. I mean, you're looking at Usman is an elite guy. That's why I think a lot of models if you're a modeler, you probably are betting Usman, and you're probably seeing value on Usman. And I would even suggest that there's a lot of models that have Usman winning this fight because look at Usman, who he's fought, who he's beaten. Like, all that is taken into account when they model. But in 2026, I have to look at a guy whose knees are gone. Both knees are gone. Who's touching 40 years old, whose best years are behind him, against the Duplessis, who's at that age that he's probably in his prime, that is as motivated as you get coming off a loss like he did. I just think it's a decent spot for Duplessis, but I think I'd be betting more opinion than inefficient price. So I can't get there yet. Just like I haven't gotten there with the over. But I do like Duplessis, and I do like the over in that fight. It's the only way I could bet it. It would be Duplessis and over or pass in that main event. Ronan, you got the links at plus 800, right? Yeah, those are nice. Those are nice. Hell yeah. Hell yeah. Good for you. Yeah, Sean, yeah. I bet them all the same. I handicap them all the same, meaning I'm trying to determine what the implied win probability is. Like, that's the hardest part. And there's no science to it. There's no correct blueprint. Everyone does it differently, which is why we all come up with a different implied win probability. And that's what creates markets, right? But for me, it's all comes down to that. What is my line compared to theirs? Now, in football, I use those power ratings and I create a line for each of the games. I don't have the confidence to bet them yet. Even here I am this many years into my career. It's what tells you I've seen enough, bro, to know my limitations. Like, that's also key. Sometimes knowing your limitations is very, very key to your long-term success. So I haven't had the confidence to just fire away at every offline. I do a handful on occasion. You know what I mean? I'll narrow down, but not all of them. I wait as the accounts that I provide for betting syndicates and different wise guys in multiple markets. I'll see, like, if they'll come on. So let's say I like Indiana at -2.5. And all of a sudden in the accounts, they want to bet Indiana at -2.5. Boom. I know, all right, I'm on the right side. I saw it the right way. My power rating's on point. So I use those for them for confirmation. But I also, now I hired a year ago, and I'm starting to have that confidence in my own shit, in only my own shit, not needing confirmation like we've been doing with the tennis, because I'm not going to get the confirmation. So God bless you, John. My man, Block, welcome. Always see you in the mornings, brother. Always see you in the morning. Thank you. Thank you for taking some time out to join us. One of the good guys. One of the good guys. My man, Block. Yeah, bro. The weight cuts are ridiculous. Like, I've been behind the scenes, so I've seen that shit in action. Like, fuck. The weight that they cut is ridiculous. They are dying. Like, they're literally dying to, like, their bodies are dying. When you're cutting that kind of weight, you're slowly but surely killing yourself. Like, that ain't no joke. That's what they go through, the big weight cuts, I'm talking 25 plus pounds. That ain't no joke, bro. That's no joke. Those guys that cut that weight. Nasty shit, crazy shit. But they all do it, so you have to do it. Like, so you can't fight at your natural weight because you'll be so small. And that's what sucks. Nobody's really fighting at their natural weight. I know like some ones trying to do it where they weigh you 30 days out and that kind of stuff. So it is safer for the fighters. But yeah, a lot of them just are so used to it, though. It doesn't, you know, like, it's not really that huge of a negative. I don't think it's not a positive, but like, you know, we hear it and it's like, wait, he cut 30 pounds. I'm going to fade him. But then you're like, wait, he cuts 30 pounds every time. So it is like, I don't know how they freaking, I see it in Contender because for Contender, I go early because we have production meetings, we have walkthroughs. There's a lot that goes on for a UFC event. Believe me when I tell you. And I'm there when those guys are like, so it's been 24 hours since they're not even 24 hours since their weight cut. You know what I mean? But you still see the residual effects from a lot of them. Like, it's wild, dude. It's wild. Yes, Sean. Yes, I've done that and I still do it. I still do it, bro. I'd be lying if I said different. Sean asked, have you ever placed a bet, small or large, at any time just to have action? Yeah, I've done both. I've bet small bets and large bets just for action, and it never turns out well. Even when you win, it doesn't turn out well because you do it again and again and again, and you're going to lose more of those than you're going to win. And you should, because you're laying 11 to win 10. So if you are just picking for action, then you're not really looking at any edges. And if you're laying 11 to 10 with no edge, eventually it's going to cost you. Now, you may win first 10 bets doing that. You may start off 10-0. You may be 15-2 after 17. But after 40, 50, 60 bets, unless you retire, you're going broke doing that. See, and that's what the point I'm trying to get across more than any else. If you are only betting today, then none of this shit matters. Closing line value doesn't matter. Shopping for the best line doesn't matter. EV, nothing. Implied win prop. The only thing that matters is cashing that ticket. That's it. Being right is all that matters. Being right. Not value. None of that shit. That's all nonsense. That's all fucking words. Okay? But if you're going to bet tomorrow and next week and next month and next year, then that shit is actually the only thing that does matter. Being right doesn't, believe it or not, because you could be right and have placed terrible bets, and eventually doing that's going to break you. You can't do that long term and make money. Remember, probability works both ways, with you and against you. So, you know, that's the negative of betting for action and, you know, doing it for fun. You got to be able to, like, who bets, buy stock for fun, really? Who does that? Who says, you know, I'm going to buy 8 shares of IBM just for the fuck of it because I want some action. We don't do that, but for sports, somehow we do it. And here's why. Because you never stood in front of a CVS and going, come on, CVS. Come on, yeah, CVS, yeah. We don't do that. But we have gone to stadiums and cheered in teams, and in front of our TVs, we've gotten mad and emotional and happy and all those feelings. That's the difference. We have emotion. We're tied to this shit. That's why we will bet it for action. We will bet it because it's on TV. We will bet it because our team's playing. And that's when you got to be able to separate yourself from that. What am I doing it for? If I treat it like a business, it pays like a business. If I treat it like entertainment, it's going to cost like entertainment. As long as I understand and acknowledge those facts, those 2 facts, then everything else is just fine. Then I know I'm doing for entertainment and it's probably going to cost me. That's okay. Entertainment costs. But if I'm doing it as an investment, then I ain't betting for fucking action, and I'm not betting because it's on TV. That's, again, I love you guys, and those are the kind of questions that I live for. I live for those questions, Sean. Thank you, because that's exactly the stuff that we come across every single day. Each of us will have to deal with that shit every day and have to make a decision whether we're going to bet it or not. Thank you, boys. I love you guys. Yeah, that's a great point. Bob said it. He said it's a great course. My problem is finding the right table or time. That it is. It just, that's why I don't play poker. I love poker. I would love to sit at a poker table. It just takes too much time. It takes a lot of time. Blackjack's the same. And especially if you're an advantage player, like you can't just walk down to your local casino and beat them every day. Like I wish I could just go have my coffee in the morning, play 4 hours, have lunch, play another 4 hours, then go home and do that every day. Oh, what a great life. I wish, God, please. Unfortunately, the casinos don't, they frown on that and they don't allow that. So it does. It takes some hustle. I'll put 2 hours here. I'll put 1 hour there. Oh, I got to take today off because I got heat. Like, yeah, it's a grind, bro. It's a grind. But here, the thing is, I love doing it. I came here by myself, single, 25 years old, with only a couple $100. And yeah, I dove right in, man. I dove right in. That's one thing I know I was built for it. Like they say, actors go to Hollywood, politicians go to Washington, models go to New York, gamblers, you know where we go. And that's what brought me here. Like, I ain't gonna lie to you, bro. I got gamble in me. Are you fucking crazy? I used to gamble on anything. Shit, I've gambled more in my basement in Philadelphia than I gambled here in Las Vegas. There was probably more bet on the hood of my car rolling. Dude, we played blackjack on the hood of my car for like $300, $500 hands of blackjack. So believe me, I've got gamble in me. I've got gamble in me. I have to fight that instinct, because what happens with gamblers is we don't value money. Money comes a way of keeping score. And I did that for far too long. But yeah, I bet I had toss in the parlay. I think she was like minus 110, 115. I threw in the parlay. She was borderline. I think we had her around 58% win rate. Not where we could place a bet on them. I don't have no summer league today, guys. I don't have anything. I haven't done well with the summer league. I know the one night we swept. But overall, I'm a little bit disappointed with the summer league results, because I know a couple years, like, they'll only fire like 15, 16 plays and go like 12-3. You know what I mean? We did bet that Libertad Barcelona over already, right? That soccer in Ecuador. Yeah. Okay. All right. So yeah, we're up. We're caught up, man. We're caught up. Now, like I said, I'm going to go over the MMA over this next hour. So up until 4 p.m. Eastern, keep your eyes open and your emails ready to go, because I will be finalizing MMA. I will be finalizing baseball. And then enjoy the rest of your day. Ladies and gentlemen, have a great fucking day. Enjoy the World Cup until tomorrow. Enjoy it. We start fresh on Monday. We're going to have a Steamroom again next Saturday. And I promise you, one's coming in the middle of the week, because I want to talk investments, especially after what happened with AI 2 days ago. What an opportunity. We talked about it. Have dry powder ready. I told you I was 80% in cash for one reason only, and that happened on Thursday and Friday. We were waiting for that dump. Now, I did some buying, but I'm not holding long. Like, this is just a short trade, because I do think we're going a lot lower, especially with the semiconductors, like that AI. Remember, these stocks went up like meme coins, bro. What do you think was going to happen? And then you have guys, oh, Micron's going to 2,000 and Marvel's going to 8,000. No, it's not. Shut up. It's going there. It's not doing it today. It'll get there, just not today. And people got a little excited with the AI stocks, and I knew it. Once the barista starts asking me about AI, just like with Bitcoin, same shit. Once you're barista, and no disrespect to baristas, I mean, fuck, God bless them. But they spend 8 hours a day making coffee, another 8 hours a day with their family, and probably 8 hours sleeping. Where are they going to find out about what to invest in? So when your barista is telling you to buy crypto, that's probably the top. You're probably at the top at that point. So when everybody's telling me to buy at the top, that's when you know it's time to either start shorting the market or sit in cash and wait. So I've been sitting in cash and waiting, and we just had an opportunity. With that said, I am long Palantir. I haven't got out since 108, and I'm not getting out. I'm holding that. So when I die, whoever I'm leaving that shit too. They'll get Palantir along with some crypto and shit. So God bless you and your families. Stay safe. Thank you for your continued support. Honestly, I appreciate you and respect you guys so much. And I apologize for not being profitable in 2026 yet. But as I said, I've been consistent since day one. Our goals are aligned. I'm working hard for you. And I feel confident, especially with the next 5.5 months that we have ahead and what's waiting for us. God bless. Stay safe and do some damage. Bet size correctly, we'll be okay. Go Argentina, right? They're 40. We get more with Argentina. So we're going to cheer in Argentina tomorrow, but deep down, I think Spain beats them. Spain's the best team. Thought so going in. My opinion hasn't changed at all. Go Spain. Love you guys. Talk soon.